was the RJC, according to the clock, it's 33% utilized. There will be 9 floors. We just came out of another $400 million courthouse. I mean, who's going to argue with that? I mean, that's part of what a city has to do.
I know.
You know how many millions that thing went over,
Budget.
and overtime. And like I said, if they want to do a family court and it looks like there is need, they could use that Bridger building.
The old one.
Not the building, but, use that property. And I still don't know what they have in mind for the Old County Courthouse. But it's going to cost them a fortune to tear down because of all the asbestos. And when you get it torn down, they want to remediate the soil. That's why everybody's staying civil.
Yeah.
I talked
What happened to Ricky?
Yeah, we wouldn't be meeting.
He was here.
Where did Ricky go? He came and he said something, and I was talking with him, and I don't know where. Is he out there? Could you just check and see if he's out there?
I prefaced it with the fact that the most outstanding male hero in the history of American film was Atticus Finch of Harper's Collins, To Kill a Mockingbird. I said, I wanted to say good things about lawyers before I tell you what they all know. He was a very Lincoln-esque character.
Finch. Yes, he was.
The type of Lincoln.
And Gregory Peck made him look more like Lincoln.
And it was, unfortunately, very real history, the old South. The things that were going on. Hi, how are you?
I didn't know if you said something to me, and I didn't hear it when you left, so okay. Jarrell said,
That's the first test,
yep, you did.
which is
Yeah, reading upside down is not my forte.
You know what?
How you doing, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I can read upside down pretty well. I don't know what that means.
That means
Is
you're,
my
you're
mind
very
upside
smart.
down?
No, that means you're very smart.
I don't know. Probably not small print, however.
Councilman Barlow.
Are we ready to go?
I got my truck here today. I realized you were probably going to be here, and so instead of trying to catch you at lunch tomorrow, so if you have a couple of minutes after recommending.
Are we ready? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'll call this recommending committee meeting of September 18th to order. Are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes, we are.
This meeting has been posted in various locations throughout the city. Reading the item first to be considered, Bill number 2007-52, Annexation number ANX 21429, property location at 6369 Buckaroo Avenue, petition by Jose and Oralia Meraz, acreage .53 acres, zoned RE County zoning, RE city equivalent, sponsored by our esteemed colleague, Councilman Ricky Y. Barlow.
That is I.
This annexation is a standard owner requested annexation, single parcel. Everything's in order. Recommend approval.
Do we have any comments from the audience concerning this item? Okay, would you like to make a motion, Mr. Barlow?
I do have a question, and I'll pose it to yourself as well as Chris. What is it that we can do to see if, in fact, we can annex county parcels into the city? Because I have a large portion of county islands in Ward 5. I just wanted to see what can we do to get that annexed and to make it one cohesive ward.
I don't know if Val wants to start on this or if he wants me to mess it up and then he clean it up. But there are state statutes that allow for the city. We several years ago got an amendment to the state statutes that allowed the city to annex county properties if we met certain circumstances. Now there's two different schools of thought. There's a school of thought that that was a one-time shot And we did do that. We annexed properties that did not have single-family homes on them. And that was done. There's a philosophy that maybe we should be able to do that again. I don't know if the language of the state statutes really allow that or not. It's something we definitely can take a look at. The other question is what happens when the city, if the city were able to do that. We've had our finance director take a look at some of the potential to annex county island properties that meet the requirements under state law, under state annexation, and what happens to the valuation thing in light of the property tax cap. And I think since I'm not the finance director and I don't know the full thing, but we can have the finance director talk to you about that and what those impacts are in relation to property values and the taxes and what happens to a property owner. And then most basic of all, and it plays in every annexation, it is difficult for the city to annex a person's property without their permission. And there is language in the state statutes that says that if there's a certain percentage of the property owners that are being annexed, if they object to that annexation, it basically has a veto authority over the council's ability to annex the property. So that's the best that I understand it in just general terms. And maybe Mr. Steed has a better explanation of that.
If there are people in the county who live in a cluster together in a county island who wish to be annexed, they can proceed with that, though, can't
Yes,
they?
ma'am.
Nothing
They can
stops
petition.
them.
Nothing
It's
stops
just what
a
you're
property
talking
owner.
about is if we wanted to do it without,
And a property owner doesn't want it.
Okay.
And they have certain rights under state statutes that can prohibit that.
and I would really like to have that in writing from the finance department, Ricky, that would tell us, what it would do to taxes. I have an area in my ward that wants to annex, but they feel their taxes would go up so high. So I'd really like to see what is the situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Would it be possible for me to say something here, or July for the next one?
No, could you just wait until we have this and then we'll have you, is it going to relate to the next one too?
Yes. but
Okay,
that's-
okay.
That's all right. Whatever.
No, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Well, I said to Las Vegas Convention Visitors Authority, they didn't like it. There's no such thing as a coincidence. As it happens, I noticed these two bills on annexation. They're the first time in my experience as a recommending committee. I took the attack of going to the county clerk's office. I didn't think of finance, and the county clerk advised me that these are on a case-per-case basis. The first and the most common is the island problem, and the second, as you mentioned, the most common, based upon the discretion of the owner, was the idea that they were Clark County, they wanted to be annexed City of Las Vegas because of ratables and taxes. So that's all I have, but I thought that might help a little bit.
Say that last part again.
The last part was, according to the county clerk, that there are others on a case-by-case basis who are not in island situations that choose to eschew the Clark County jurisdiction to be annexed by City of Las Vegas for the reason of their tax abatement for the ratables,
Whose tax abatement in it?
the owners.
Because they feel the county is better or the city? That's where I got lost.
Well, again,
They would
according
say
to the way it was explained to me, it could be that I'm a Clark County person that would go for annexation to by City of Las Vegas to diminish taxes, or maybe the other way around.
I heard it was the other way around. That's why I was questioning that. I'm sorry.
This
Is
is
there,
why I needed that clarification.
did you want to ask anything more, Ricky?
No, that was it.
Was there anybody in the audience who would like to make a comment pertaining to this item? Then we have the motion.
Okay. I would like to move for due pass of this item.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. And we move to the next item, Bill number 2007-53, annexation number ANX 22188, property location on the south side of Roberta Avenue, approximately 275 feet west of Decatur Boulevard, petitioned by Brent and Diane Bullock, acreage 1.56 acres, zoned RE, county zoning, RENUR city equivalents, sponsored by Councilman Ricky Y. Barlow.
That is aye.
This is a similar presentation. The owners have two parcels here that they're combining for purposes of the annexation, and everything is in order. Recommend approval.
Do we have any questions? Did you want to make a comment, Ricky, on this one?
No.
Councilman Barlow.
No.
And is there anybody from the audience who wishes to make a comment?
I understand this entirely, I recommend approval.
You recommend approval? Good. I will ask for a motion from this Councilman Barlow.
Okay. I would like to move for due pass.
All in favor? Aye. The motion passes. Moving to the next item, Bill number 2007-54. It updates various use and design standards within the Downtown Centennial Plan, sponsored by Councilman Gary Reese.
Ford Fag with the Planning and Development Department. The proposed ordinance that you have in front of you will make some changes to our downtown Centennial Plan, which are rather minor in nature, but let me just go through those very briefly. Number one, it will add 2 uses to the Arts District. These proposed uses have been approved by the Arts District Neighborhood Association, and they are in favor of those. The ordinance will also make some minor changes to our streetscape standards relative to tree grades, and then also the varieties of shade trees that are allowable. And then finally, it does 2 things relative to sidewalk standards. Number one, it requires some additional setbacks along the bus traffic transit route that's planned throughout the downtown area. And then finally, it revises the sidewalk standards in our industrial areas. Previously, we had required a full 10-foot wide sidewalk, and that really isn't necessary in the industrial areas. And so those are the changes that are proposed with this ordinance. Thank you.
Do we have any comments?
Yes, I do. Is this in relation to the REI site as to why we're moving forward with this particular ordinance?
No, this was actually drafted prior to REI coming into the city.
But this does fall within their jurisdiction as far as the boundary in which they are proposing their development?
They won't be in the Arts District, so the changes to the Arts District will not apply to them. Part of the REI site was previously zoned industrial. And with their applications, they changed that to commercial, so the change in the sidewalk standards, reducing the sidewalk width, will not apply to them either. So I don't see that it will have any impact to the REI site
Okay.
or any benefit.
Any more comments or any comments from the audience pertaining?
My name is Ted Russell, I'm a resident of Las Vegas. That was the question, Councilman Barlow, that I would have asked. My understanding of the REI was that it involves 2 blocks of the Arts District. On the basis of my confidence in the planning and development part of the Planning Commission, the Planning and Development, Ms. Wheeler, and what we've just heard, I recommend approval.
Do we have any additional comments? Motion, Mr. Councilman?
Yes, I would like to move for due pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. Moving to the next item, Bill number Z 2007-1 amends the city's official zoning map atlas by changing the zoning designations of certain parcels of land, non-residential, proposed by M. Margot Wheeler, Director of Planning and Development. I would like to comment that the rezoning of these parcels has already been approved by the City Council. This bill merely formalizes the rezoning by ordinance. Do we have any comments to be made?
Yes, this is a standard thing that we do once a year to take all the parcels that are non-residential. We divide them into residential and non-residential just kind of for convenience purposes. Take those that have had conditions that have been fulfilled and the legal description of which has been prepared, and make the zoning official, even though it's kind of housekeeping because they're out there exercising their zoning anyway. So with that, we recommend approval. I do believe we have a request to add 3 parcels to the ordinance, which would be by First Amendment.
Council Fulham and Tarkanian. Lenny Scar, 3753 Howard Hughes Parkway, representing 3 parcels which I would like to have added onto this ordinance. They are in the vicinity of Cliff Shadows and Novat. These parcels had a certificates of occupancy and businesses inside open for business in December of last year. They have completed all of their off-site improvements and all the other conditions of approval that were placed on the development. And those 3 parcel numbers are 13712 410 007 and also 008 and 010.
So for clarification, these parcels are in place and operating with the current zoning use. However, the zoning that they currently sit on is inappropriate. And so this is to clean up their zoning?
The list that you have shows what they were when they asked for you to rezone them. That you call them current zoning.
Correct.
And the column new zoning is what you gave them subject to a resolution of intent. And in almost all, if not all cases, they're out there exercising that zoning under the new resolution of intent. It just has to be formalized by what we call hard zoning, and that's what this ordinance does.
Okay, so this is to clean it up.
Yes, and I believe the parcels that Lenny was referring to are all current zoning UPCD going to PD. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. So we would just add those onto the list. We did also notice an error in a couple of parcels on page 4 where it says U parentheses PROS. There's a closed print missing in the hyphen, so as long as we're amending this in the First Amendment, we'll clean those up as well. So, and those parcels, it's my understanding, were supposed to have been included here, so we have no objection to adding them by amendment.
So the parcels which he's talking about, you have no objection to. It fits right in with what we're doing.
Exactly.
And you will make the corrections on page 4 as a second amendment?
We
Or
all
part of
prefer
the first,
one.
okay, then they'd be
And,
part of the first.
And because we don't have that printed for you, we will make the same presentation tomorrow at council, because this has been fast-tracked and is eligible for adoption tomorrow.
Okay. As long as we have no problems then, is there any other comment from anybody in the audience? Mr. Councilman,
Yes, move for due pass subject to all staff conditions
and the amendments?
With the First Amendment.
with the first amendment. The first
Amendment. You put it all in one, I guess. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes. We move to the next item. Bill number Z2007-2 amends the city's official zoning map atlas by changing the zoning designations of certain parcels of land residential. Proposed by M. Margot Wheeler, Director of Planning and Development. Again, I note that the rezoning of these parcels has already been approved by the City Council. This bill merely formalizes the rezoning by ordinance. As we've been told here today, that this is mainly a housekeeping issue.
Correct. These are the residential parcels. There's quite a few more of them. As you might imagine, everything is in order as far as I know. There are no amendments and no typographical errors, and so we ask for your approval.
Okay, any comments from the audience? The previous vote we made was on non-residential, and this one is on residential. Mr. Councilman?
Yes, move for due pass.
All in favor? Aye. And now I ask if there's anybody in the audience who would like to make a comment or a suggestion or anything you would like to do within reason and the public input.
First of all, off the record.
Could you come to a mic, please?
Yeah, that was my question.
Everything's on the record.
Okay. chill. The question was-
Identify yourself, please.
My name is Ted Russell, resident of Las Vegas, which is to say, I understand that, thank God, there's already no cameras for a change. But I understand that one speaks into this microphone for the purposes of the system. Does that mean that everything I said over there would not be entered? Because I've been-
It picks it up but more quietly.
I'm theatrically trained and I know how to throw my voice.
Yes.
Great. Now, at the county commissioners meeting today, Commissioner Chris
G.
G. Thank you. I mean, I speak Italian and I still. The suggestion was to you're not going to like this, but the suggestion was, and it was adopted, they have a book that's about this thick that prepares the commissioners for the meeting. The commissioner suggested that there be a book placed at the entry to the chambers for the benefit of any residents or any business people or whoever wanted to, let's say, get the straight scoop or to look more deeply into matters that influence their friends, family, finances, et cetera, et cetera. So my suggestion, and I realize that normally I think you all have 3 books in preparation for,
Sometimes 8.
maybe I should rethink it.
Well,
What do
I wonder if maybe we could ask Mr. Knight to administratively look into this and see if there would be a possibility to place a set of books that have all the backup. It would just be an additional set of the books that would be available, and see what the feeling is as far as staff is concerned and council members.
We can look into that in terms of cost and our ability to do that, and I'll take that forward to the city managers and ask them to have the clerks look into that and see what the implications of
This
that
would
might
not be a vote of council, it would be more city manager making an administrative decision, so he'll take it there and see what the feeling is.
My idea on this is, I'm very difficult. I'm only satisfied with anything we do as being a model for the rest of the nation. I'm not alone in that. And to me, it would be truly fulfilling both the spirit and the letter of the Nevada Revised Statutes Open Meeting Laws. Thank you.
I understand.
I would say, Councilwoman Tarkanian, for the record, that just about any council agenda item, if an individual is interested in the backup for that, that is a public record, and they can request that and receive that from the city clerk's office.
Also, if you go to the city's website, you can pull the backup information off
Yes,
of the
you can.
website as well, so it is available. So
Yes,
it's,
you can.
it's
It
not
always-
that it's not available.
You can
It's
access
not
it.
that it's not available. It is available by going onto the site.
And those conditions are precisely duplicated by the county, yet nonetheless, they decided in their wisdom to go ahead.
There are some people who don't use email or,
Right.
you know, and are the computers.
Or maybe at the last minute realize, oh my God, I forgot.
And there are some people who don't realize that, about how they can obtain the backup information, and that might be why the county does that. I know that 2 or 3 times we have had people come before the council who have stated, well, you know, I don't have this, or it's not there. Sometimes it's the same person, to tell you the truth, but in any case, if it were there, it would be available. But you have to balance the costs and the advantages.
We'll take a look at all the logistics of that.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it.
Is there anybody else who wants to make a comment? To participate in public input? All right, then the meeting's adjourned.